the way I approach business and property, I actually look at what makes me money. So last year, it was
Hayley Andrews, welcome back to Property People. You have been with us before, and here we are today at the Property Entrepreneur Summit. I wanted to congratulate you on winning an award for Female Property Entrepreneur of the Year.
That's not my latest award, but yes, I have won that as well.
That's a pretty impressive accolade.
Thank you.
What other awards have you won this year?
So I won Property Investor of the Year 2024, and I've just started a female networking group called Hard Hats to Heels.
Love the name.
And that won Networking Community of the Year as well.
Networking Community of the Year, Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
And that's a ladies-specific networking group. And where is that based? Is that local or is that nationwide yet?
So it will be rolled out to the rest of the UK, but we started in Dudley, which is just northeast of Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it's at my training facility, so it's my headquarters. So we do it in the ballroom there. Have lots of women that come, both business and property. And it's been absolutely phenomenal. The take-up has been brilliant, overwhelmed.
So in terms of the last 12 to 24 months, let's say, to win those sorts of accolades, especially Property Entrepreneur of the Year, what is it that you've been keeping yourself busy with? Like, what's been the main focus for the last 12 months or so that you've been, that you feel that you've been mostly recognized for?
I think the unique projects that I'm doing. I have a museum on at the moment, an office conversion into a hotel, an entertainment quarter. I've done car parks. So I think it's the diverse portfolio that I've acquired over the last 12 to 24 months that's really set me apart.
And so when we talk about things like car parks and hotels, etc., are these all development projects, or are these sometimes just buying good quality commercial, high yielding, slightly tweaking the asset management, etc.? What are they?
So I've been focusing on listed buildings. That's what I specialise in.
Oh,
so I sit on several historical boards. I'm a trustee, so that's kind of my passion. So I've been focusing on rundown listed buildings, bringing them back into life, using grant funding as well, and repurposing them. So some of them are asset management, doing a conversion, but turning a museum into bar, restaurant, indoor cricket sixes, inflatonation, laser tag, escape rooms, those types of things. Then I've done a fire station that's been turned into a bar and restaurant. Offices.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mixed bag.
Have you heard of Chiltern Firehouse in London, Marylebone? That's an old fire station, and it's like one of the top joints in town.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the UK is going through an interesting time whereby lots of property investors, especially that come to these summits, they're really focused on residential, solving the affordable housing crisis, but we really need productivity in the business space in general.
Yeah.
So with everything going online, there's kind of been a bit of apathy with whether it be retail or office or industrial, but you seem to be finding good spaces to bring some of those types of businesses back to life.
Yeah, I think the way I approach business and property is to identify what's missing, to identify an opportunity and then bring that back to the market. So I'm very good at doing feasibility, understanding what that area needs, and then putting that product back to the market. So when people say to me, what strategy are you working on? While a lot of the stuff I'm doing at the moment are commercial developments.
Yeah, it sounds about...
I actually look at what makes me money. So last year, it was a car park, and it was quite a lot of asset management as well, alongside the commercial conversions, and really just identifying what's missing within an area and bringing that product to the market. I think that's what I do well.
It's really interesting because I've been saying more and more so I find in the last few months when I've been speaking to property investors, that they're so focused on residential in particular is that if you just try and always, I will use a football analogy, I'm not sure, but if you always try and score with your left foot, then you're missing a trick. You might be able to score with your right, with your head, or with different ways to be able to actually get a result.
Yeah.
And you've been able to focus more on the commercial side. Has that been a needs must? Because like you said, you've just been focusing on where the money's at, where the opportunity is, and you've evolved into focusing more on that? Has that been an organic thing?
I think, in terms of commercial, you're buying commercial much cheaper price per square foot. There's a lot of empty commercial properties in good solid areas that just need to be revisited and bringing something different to that market, whether that is asset management or whether that is actually converting into the likes of a hotel, service accommodation or residential. It's about identifying the opportunity within that particular area. And so when people say to me, what strategy do you focus on or what type of buildings, I look at the opportunity and where the money is. It doesn't matter. I can take a plot of land and turn it into a pay and display car park that can generate me £6,000 cash flow per calendar month, and it's passive. Or I can go and take a office and convert it into what I'm doing at the moment, a 16-bed hotel. It's about identifying the opportunity, what's missing, and what your bottom line is going to be, basically. We're in this for the money.
Absolutely. I think you have to be quite agile-minded to be able to do that, and quite entrepreneurial-minded as well. I think that a lot of people talk about property investment, and then there's been a whole thing about, property, run it as a business, if it's property investment or so. And if you think of it purely from a business point of view, you're right. You look at where the revenue is going to come from, what the operations are going to look like, and what the bottom line is going to be, regardless of what the asset is in the background.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's about being flexible and not having that tunnel vision, as you said. If you're just focusing on, commercial to residential, then there may be a lot of opportunities that you miss. If you're just focusing on HMOs or serviced accommodation, you get very good at those particular strategies, but you may miss a hell of a lot of other opportunities that are out there, which may be actually better and more viable.
Yeah, in your opinion, would you say that residential is dead?
No, I'm not allowed to say residential is dead. I'm in the property world. No, it's not. But it's about buying it at the right price. It's about having the right product that you put back to the market. It doesn't work everywhere, and it's a lot harder now than it has been over the last 10 years. And the last 5 years has got even harder. Yeah. I think the attraction around residential, especially becoming a residential landlord, has died off a hell of a lot over the last couple of years, especially now with Labour in power. And I think people are sorting different opportunities, your commercial to residential, really making sure that they are either putting a product that they can sell, or it is something like serviced accommodation or co-living or something like that that's slightly different. I do buy-to-lets, so it's wrong for me to say that they don't work. They absolutely do, but it's, as I said, about what you buy. But even quite often when I'm doing buy-to-lets, I'm buying a commercial building and splitting it up into several.
Increasing the GDV per square foot, because residential is still going to be more.
So it's more of a divide and conquer than a buy-to-let residential strategy.
It's one of those things when people say this is dead. I think it just gets clicks and everything on YouTube and stuff. It's never dead, but it's certainly evolved. It certainly might not be as profitable or as accessible as something used to be, but the market moves, and I think the only constant in life is change, and I think that's the most important thing to remember.
I think ultimately it depends on what you want to achieve out of your property business, your risk profile as well, of course. Buying one buy-to-let that's between 120 to 200,000 is different to buying a commercial unit that's £600,000-700,000 that you're going to turn into 20, 30 units, and the development and everything around that. So it comes down to risk, it comes down to what you want to achieve out of your business, but it comes down to, again, identifying the opportunity, making sure that you're not overpaying for the property and you understand the investment that you're walking into. If you hold property long-term, history tells us that that's a good, viable, tangible asset, and it will go up over time. So do you need the cash flow? Are you able to leave capital in there if you can't recycle it and pull it all back out? So it's just about understanding how you want to move your business forward, and then identifying the area and opportunity that fits that.
And with the level of knowledge that you've got, with exactly everything you've just said and the way you've said it so succinctly, you've got a training business as well, whereby you help other investors and developers. So tell us a little bit about what's the format of that. Is it online? Is it in person? Is it masterminding? How do you do that?
So it's a global training organisation across 18 different countries. So I'm actually famous in Hong Kong.
Excellent.
And we do everything from on-demand, online, live in class and one-to-one mentorships, both mastermind and up to 20 people maximum or one-on-one.
Very good. And we're at the Property Entrepreneur Summit. Out of all the speakers, including yourself, who's headlining, who else are you looking forward to seeing today?
All of them. It's a fantastic lineup. I can't wait.
It really is.
I've got my notepad and pen ready. Take some notes for sure. But no, I'm looking forward to every single one of them.
Happy days. Well, Hayley, we're going to have you on Property People on for the long form format again to catch up with you properly, find out a little bit more about the awards and these projects. But it's great seeing you again today, and we'll catch up again a little bit later.
It's great to see you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.